Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am your host, Saucy McFoodlefist, and today we are playing the letter. In the last one, spoiler alert everybody, spoiler alert, do not listen if you have not watched these videos, just kidding. But, Rose died in the last episode, and that's pretty much what happened. If you don't know who Rose is, she was our partner at the Briar Real Estate Corporation, and she was killed by the ghost of the mansion, we're pretty sure, and that's pretty much what we know. Uh, okay, let's get started. A buzzing sensation jolts me awake. My body still wants to sleep, to forget what I heard, what I saw last night. But it's there, nudging me, prodding at me. Slowly, I become aware of how awkward my position is, and the aches that accompany my sleep in a curled up position the night before. Sorry, I didn't read that right. If I even slept at all. The memories are impossible to forget now that Rose is gone. They say it's easier when you say it out loud. Instead, the words weigh heavier on me each time. She's gone. Gone because of me. Now, is it really our fault? Gone because of one letter I was too curious to look at. I should have been more careful. I should have just kept my mouth shut. I should have destroyed it before anyone else had gotten involved. I should have. The notification light on my laptop blinks incessantly, mockingly, when I look at it, as if it's calling me back to a sense of normalcy. I check it, nevertheless, out of habit more than anything. To all BRC employees, in light of recent events, there will be an all-staff emergency meeting from 1 to 2 p.m. Attendance is a must. Company changes, new hierarchy, and policies will be discussed during the meeting. Everyone is expected to bring a copy of their own attendance logs and sales reports for the last 6 months to be submitted to your respective managers for review. We are expecting everyone's cooperation. Thank you, Joanne Schultz, BRC HR Manager. If there was one of those typical days, I'd be happy to comply and get myself out to our office. Today my limbs just feel heavy. On one hand, going will keep me busy, take my mind elsewhere. On the other, the place in itself is a stark reminder of what my own fears have cost me. I should just go to work or stay home. Honestly, okay, if it were me, I would stay home. I mean, I don't know how I would feel if I was in this situation. But it seems like Isabella doesn't want to go to work, so we're going to stay home. My hand automatically moves to press the delete button. What's the use? I won't be able to work anyway. Not with this weighing on me. Not with the images flashing in my mind. Not with these voices calling for me. Over and over and over. I flop back down on my bed and discard my phone on the nest of pillows beside me. The TV is still running. I notice vaguely, having been left open the night before. I thought I had no desire nor interest in it now. Rose is dead and it's my fault. Shoving a pillow over my head, I make an attempt to sleep again. Anything just so I won't feel this heavy feeling in my chest. It's Becca! A cheerful voice greets with a tinge of hesitance. A cheerful voice with a tinge of hesitance greets me when I answer the sudden call.
Hey there! How are you feeling?
Good morning, Becca.
I just want to check on you. I heard the news. How are you doing?
It's as if her question has opened a dam of emotions I've been keeping at bay.
Becca. Rose, she...
Shh. It's okay. I know. I'm sorry. I know how much she means to you.
No, you don't understand! This is what I've been telling you guys!
What you've been telling... Alright. Tell you what. Why don't we eat dinner together today? I heard the diner near your office is serving your favorite today. My treat?
I'm gonna decline her offer.
No, I'm not at the office. Ugh, never mind. We're not safe. Not anywhere.
What are you talking about? And don't shout. I was just inviting you to help take your mind off things.
The letter.
This again? Ghosts aren't real, Isabella. They're just stories made up to scare children.
That's not true.
You're always saying that, but look what happened to Rose. I know what I saw.
The police says it's a homicide case.
Didn't you see what's in her room? That's not something another human being would do. Come on, Rebecca. You have to believe me this time.
Isabella, I know you're in shock, but you have to wait for the authorities' findings. You can't just make assumptions based on some stupid letter you picked up somewhere.
Becca just doesn't understand.
You're still not going to believe me. Even if someone else already died, no?
You know that's not what I'm trying to get at.
What if Zach comes next? Or Ashton? Or you? Did you see what she did to Rose? We're all completely powerless against her, and you still won't listen!
Okay, now I'm starting to understand why this may be our fault, because we did show the letter to Rose. And now Rose is dead, so it's our fault.
Isabella, enough already. Where are you anyway? At home? Of course you're at home. I'm coming over.
Forget it. The same. They're all the same, no matter how much you warn them. I let my phone slide from my grip and turn my attention to the news. Never mind that Becca's still on the line. She's never going to listen anyway. They never will. I'm all alone in this. And at the end of the day, no matter how gloomy the headlines are, it's still a better...
The Luxbon Police Department continues its search for the following reported missing people.
Hold on a second. Missing? Aren't they... Still, I've got to check. Frantic, I open my laptop. The loud tapping of my fingers against the keys fills the room for the rest of the day as I look through everything. The background about the place, and history from current owners, and a list of employees hired under BRC. The night has fallen by the time I've finished going through my copies of the documents and our database. And I'm right. Of course I am. BRC may have a lot of staff, they may have a lot of agents hired, but I'd remember those names anywhere. After all, they're also a part of the crew who worked with us in preparing the mansion for the open house. Then, the letters... No, that can't be. I hope it's not what I'm thinking.
But Rose is...
My train of thought gets cut off when arms envelop me from behind. I couldn't help but laugh. When Becca says she's going to do something, you can be sure she'll do it.
You didn't have to come over, you know. You have classes tomorrow, don't you? And I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean to yell. I just didn't want what happened to Rose to happen to you, Zach and Ashton. I wouldn't forgive myself. I think I figured out something too.
Okay, do we know whose arms those are? Because those arms look kind of spooky, to be honest.
Listen. Rebecca, sorry. I need to answer that. I've skipped work today. Rose is gone and my boss is probably beyond furious. No doubt that's him calling.
She doesn't budge. Is she still angry? The phone's still ringing in the background.
Rebecca? What's gotten into you?
Oh my... I knew it, dude. And that's... Okay, that, like, legitimately scared me. I knew that was gonna happen, and that still legitimately scared me. You've unlocked a memory fragment. Okay, I just gotta breathe. Okay. Oh, man. Okay. It's far too easy to get them to pay attention. Enraptured. They hang on to my every word and follow my every move. All of it would have been stifling had I not grown used to such stares. Okay, so is Isabella dead too? Like, is that just what happened? Did Isabella just get killed? Anyway. Most are respectful, some are hostile, if we are honest. And if you are downright inappropriate. After all, I am...
Kinda right!
There's a moment of agitation as familiar but less than welcome face approaches me with a suggestive smirk on his face. But a less than welcome face approaches me with a suggestive smirk on his face. Of course, I have to keep a benevolent smile and greet him as I greet any good friend. After all, this man can turn heads, being famous in his own right. Right? Get it? Hana right?
Officer Lee! What a pleasant surprise. I didn't think you'd have the time to attend tonight's party.
He is more Luke's friend than mine, really. I am quite sure I only invited his wife. Much like I am only friends with the Chief Inspector because of Luke, Luke is only friends with Rochelle because of me. Unlike how I treated Lee, however, Luke never hid his animosity for the Lee matriarch. It was an odd start of friendship where we would have awkward double dates. I don't even recall his first name. It started with an N. Is it Nick, like mine? I think. I might be wrong. Aside from being Chief Inspector of Luxburn Police, his wife, Rochelle Lee Nee Vance, owns a General Electronics company, fridges and freezers mostly.
Oh, I always have time for my favourite socialite couple. Might I say, you look positively ravishing tonight. I see the husband isn't with you.
Is he drunk? The way he eyes me up is enough to make my skin crawl. I just wish Luke is here to fend off the more unseemly of our peers. You know the ones. Men who are just a bit too friendly, staring too long at my assets and getting close just because my husband is not here. And to think they have the gall to do this at my own party. Man, that's messed up, Hana. I'm with you on this. This is kind of messed. In my own house, if I might add. But like any high society woman worth her salt, I know how to handle it with grace and dignity.
I suppose you are looking pleasant as well. Luke's busy with work, unfortunately. Rochelle isn't here?
A shame. I do hope he isn't causing you much trouble. That husband of yours can be a bit daft sometimes, acting like he's still some young bachelor. The wife sends her regards and her apologies, but something came up with her doctor and she needed to attend to it. You know her, being pregnant and all.
We make small talk. Rather, I'm forced to do so, as he would not leave my side after finding his place there. Much to my chagrin, I've been extricated from the few who flock in hopes of flattering, for I can tolerate them far better than Lee. He is nice. He's a nice enough person, and I adore his wife, who is obviously the brains behind the two. But there is something unsettling about him. I do not trust him as much as I want to. He regales to me tales of the Luxburn Police Department, a different affair to the usual gossip I am privy to, and though I loathe to admit, it is interesting nonetheless. I expect the topic of business to die out quickly, which would be understandable enough due to the confidential nature of his work. But oh boy was I wrong.
So, wearing civvies, I steal and drive off with one of the police mobiles, right? In the mirror, I see the new temp chasing on foot and screaming about theft. The look on his face was priceless when I parked in the garage.
Oh my. You made him chase you all the way home for a prank. What did Rochelle have to say about that?
Rochelle has a strange love and hate affair with Lee. He is a married man who did not grow up past his early 20s, judging by the way he acts. Surprisingly enough, they've been married for a good 20 years. A lifetime if you compare it to my marriage of 7 with Luke. Was Luke the name of the husband that she was with when she bought the house? Because the name Luke doesn't sound familiar to me, like, at all. But then again, we just called him Mr. Right, so maybe his name's Luke? I don't know. I, on the other hand, well, Luke is no Lee. I should be happy about that, I suppose. Although my darling did have his moments.
Hey, the wife pulled my ear and gave me a good talking to, though. Besides, we live in a flat a block away, so it wasn't much of a grand chase.
Weren't you living in a house near the countryside?
Moved for work, you know. Or you probably don't.
No, I don't. But a flat in downtown? I suppose if that's what you like.
Oh, it's horrid. Hate that tiny place, no matter how convenient it can be for work. 55 square yards are not enough when you need to get away from the wife. I wouldn't mind a place away from the city. Even started looking at the ads. I spied an interesting lot, actually. Heard it was finally put up for sale, or that something mansion. You know the one with all the ghost stories.
I know what he is talking about. There are really only a few urban legends around here. It's...
The Ermagood Mansion?
That's the one. Worthy of a king it is. I'd buy it myself, but Rochelle would only gripe if I brought it up to her.
How can a cop afford a mansion?
Not to mention all the expenses a place like that will be a real fixer-upper. You also have to find someone willing to work there with how superstitious people can be.
If it becomes a problem, just hire someone to do an exorcism.
Actually, I do know of someone who could be up to the task. You remember the Ludgates party at their Christchurch summer residence?
Of course. It was an excellent soiree. Everything was so classy, too. Such good taste.
Oh, that place was a pigsty until they hired out this interior designer and they turned it into a bloody palace. She worked for the Exodus for their apartment in Soho too, and they recommended her when we were looking up pieces for our beach house in Porto Colom. I think I have a business card right at... No, I must have left it in my other jacket. Anyway, she's called, what's her name? Marianne, I believe, yes. But truly, if anyone were to get that place in McCullough, well, they'd be the envy and the talk of the town.
So this is the backstory of why the Wrights wanted to buy the mansion so bad?
Well, if you put it that way, I might just snatch it up for myself. This place was starting to feel a bit small lately anyway.
Sure, a 3-story penthouse might not fit the definition of small for some people. Yeah, no shit. Okay, maybe a lot of people. But it isn't big enough to have grand parties in. And it is, as it is, I only invited about 30 people to this one, and it already feels cramped in here. It certainly would be nice if I didn't have to ride an elevator up and down several floors before I can get anywhere as well. All Luke's words, and not mine. Besides, I have been looking for a good anniversary gift. Luke might like this one. Where is he, anyway? Alright, we are going to end it off here. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You know what to do, YouTube. And I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.